Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Louisiana Superdome for tonight's championship game between the Syracuse Orangemen and the Kansas Jayhawks. Let's meet the starting lineups. At forward for Syracuse, a 6'8" sophomore from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, number 1, Hakeem Warwick. At forward for Kansas, a 6'4" sophomore from Fort Worth, Texas, number 5, Keith Langford. At forward for Syracuse, a 6'8" freshman from Baltimore, Maryland, number 15, Carmelo Anthony. At forward for Kansas, a 6'9" senior from Iowa Falls, Iowa, number 4, Nick Collison. At center for Syracuse, a 7-foot sophomore from East Weaverbush, New York, number 51, Craig Forth. At center for Kansas, a 6'9" junior from Lee Summit, Missouri, number 42, Jeff Graves. At guard for Syracuse, a 6'2" freshman from Scranton, Pennsylvania, number 3, Jerry McNamara. At guard for Kansas, a 6'3" senior from Sioux City, Iowa, number 10, Kirk Heinrich. At guard for Syracuse, a 6'6" senior from Bloomington, Indiana, number 13, Brett Dwaney. And at guard for Kansas, a 6'1" sophomore from Portland, Oregon, number 11, Aaron Biles. And introducing the head coaches for Syracuse, Jim Boeheim. And for Kansas, Roy Williams.
They are good friends, these two, and now they're brawling in New Orleans for the national championship. And Billy, it's time for your championship analysis.
Well, Jim, I've never been involved in a championship game with the contrast that we see in this one. Seniors versus freshmen inside, Collison against Anthony. It'll be interesting to see who gets the upper hand there. And then all of a sudden, senior and freshman on the outside. We're talking about Heinrich and McNamara. Both can play extremely well. Let's see whether the upper hand goes to senior or freshman. Now, the Jayhawk Streakers, and what I'm talking about here, is the finest fast-breaking team in college basketball. That's what the Jayhawks are. Can they get those advantages on the break as they have throughout this tournament? On the other side, you have the orange blanket, and I'm talking about a Syracuse defense that plays a 2-3 zone, holds opponents to 38%. But Kansas has had 3 halves where they've shot over 60. What's going to give?
All right, let's check in with our reporters. Billy, before the tip, here's Bonnie Bernstein.
Well, Jim, at 8 o'clock this morning, Roy Williams, his wife, former Kansas athletic director Bob Frederick, and a couple other friends took a stroll down the Mississippi, spit in the river for good luck, just that very same Roy Williams hoping that perhaps superstition will help end that long search for his first national title. Armin?
Thanks, Bonnie. You know, both Jerry McNamara and Carmelo Anthony said they had a very relaxing day. No change in their pregame routine, but both are acutely aware of what this game could mean for their head coach. Jerry McNamara said, I will be nervous, Jim, right until this moment when we start the game. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Armin. It's Collison and Warwick to get the championship game underway.
Both tried to steal the tap. Warwick got the advantage.
Billy, I would think the pace in this game is so critical, more than most that you see.
Well, here's what we're going to see early on, and certainly do. Forth, a young man who's had 5 games of late where he hasn't had a field goal.
He didn't have a field goal in the semifinal, but he hits a basket right away. But trying to establish the pace here early, Kansas against that 2-3, I would think it would be so critical.
Well, they're packing things back in, and what I want to point out is 2 of the 3 players for Kansas are not good perimeter shooters. Hey, how about Syracuse saying we can run?
Collison flips that one away, and it's Kansas ball as McNamara went in for the layup.
Jim, the first thing that I noticed on the first possession, Langford is going to try to play Carmelo Anthony. He's given up about 5 inches. Anthony immediately took up the slack. We're looking at one of the really great freshman players who knows how to play the game. Nice hit.
Graves from Collison. What do you think of that Langford matchup against Anthony? Can he do it?
It is not a good matchup size-wise at all for Kansas. And Anthony knows it, and look at where he's going. Down inside, much more than normal.
Hakeem Warwick started on Saturday, off the mark with this one, and Miles comes out for the Jayhawks. Thought about going to Heinrich.
Look at how Syracuse got back. Now, if they're going to get back that quickly, that means they're not getting on the offensive glass. But they want to make sure Kansas doesn't beat them down court and get the numbers. Look at that defense, Jim. Packed in, foul line.
And Collison pinned underneath. It remains Jayhawk basketball with 13 on the shot clock.
And it's obvious right away, Jim Boeheim's going to say, I'm going to let you fellas take some three-point shots till I see you can make them, which is great strategy against a good three-point shooting team in Oklahoma. And they shut them down with the same strategy.
Sounds like Heinrich will need a big night here.
Absolutely. He has got to be the one of those perimeter shooters to get hot.
First of the night, air ball, but Collison fouled from behind by Warwick.
That was the Derek Wittenberg impression there. Perfect pass on an air ball.
For the Orangemen, it has been a Big 12 path to the championship game, with Manhattan and Auburn thrown in there for good measure. Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, and Texas, and now, remarkably, their 4th Big 12 opponent coming here in the title game.
And couple that with a regular season win over Missouri, which was in a great streak that Syracuse had earlier this year, and they may be ready, if they could win this game, to say we want that Big 12 championship title back in our side.
Anthony comes in after the shortness. Yes, they could be the Big 12 champs and the national champs if Syracuse wins tonight. Anthony looks like he's going to take it to him. Instead, outside to the other freshman, McNamara with the three.
There's Kansas trying to push it up floor, but you know what? If you look at it, Jim, Syracuse actually had the numbers. They had 5 men back farther down the court than did Kansas on that pass. Poor execution by Kansas.
McNamara and Anthony, the 2 freshmen, leading the way for this team. McNamara again, well short, but Duane runs it down. He'll fire one. And Miles collides with Duane. These freshmen for Syracuse help lead the way. The freshmen more than 50% of the scoring for Syracuse. Here's Kansas in its road. They had 2 teams try threes at the buzzer to force overtime. Utah State in a surprising tight first-round match in that Arizona regional final. That was a good one.
Now what this defense does, it really takes away from Langford's ability to slash inside. There he goes inside and makes it anyway. Surprising that he's able to get that off at 6'4".
He started on Saturday with 23 against Marquette. Only missed 3 shots from the field in 14 attempts.
Second best first half he had in the year, Arizona being the other. Good backdoor cut by Anthony.
Duane is in the right place for the put down.
What I'm seeing so far is Kansas is putting so much attention on Anthony that everybody else is open. Here's that 2-3 packed inside the foul line.
And the lob way too high from Langford. That's twice now Kansas has thrown it away.
Roy Williams telling his team to settle down over there in the sideline. They're trying to go for home runs instead of attacking that zone patiently. Notice Anthony setting up down inside the lane.
Outside 3. Oh, how pure.
And what Langford's going to have to understand, Anthony uses his head and his eyes to look you down and then prepares that jumper.
Beautiful pass. Graves so quickly inside to Collison. And 1.
Obviously something Kansas has worked on, the high-low set against that zone, trying to get the ball into the middle and then down inside. An excellent maneuver here. Right over force, outstretched hands. Collison, a great finish.
Think of all the outstanding players, legendary names who went through the Kansas program, and Collison, second all-time scorer, just reaching that mark here in this tournament, second to Danny Manning in Kansas history scoring.
Wait for the France to move into that spot. Miles, an excellent defender against the dribble.
McNamara feeling his pressure. Anthony on the baseline. Looking to shrug off Langford again.
Roy Williams was right. That was a double dribble. He got by. Duane on the shot.
Duane with the 2 and the 3. Only made 1 field goal the other day. A couple of players contributing early. Forth and Duane, who had really no offensive output on Saturday. And that's the foul on Forth, his second.
Let me tell you something about Duane. Syracuse is 21-1 when he hits double figures. So if you're over there as assistant coach, you're saying, get him the ball.
Oh, he's halfway there with a quick 5.
And look at the zone again. See how far it's packed in. We know Miles doesn't want to take outside shots. There's a screen.
Heinrich wants that shot. Langford saw it bounce off his knee. And Syracuse ball.
Ball was slightly deflected. Took Langford's eyes off it.
Heinrich now missed on 2 attempts from the outside. We saw that dreadful game he had against Duke, only to rebound, come up so large in the regional final out west against Arizona with 28.
All right, he was 1 for 9 in that game.
And 0 for 5 from 3.
He can ill afford it, and there we see the pressure being put on the Kansas defense by Anthony.
We've reached the under-16 timeout. The Orangemen have already hit 3 of their first 4 from 3.
Purchase 20 tons of steel for the factory in Milan. Piece of cake. Next. Buy 300 hydraulic assemblies for the Washington factory by Friday. Done. Ooh, best price on titanium discs in Singapore.
Oh, look at this. 4 partners ready to bid. As you bore me.
You guys got any light bulbs?
How many pallets?
Domestic or international?
No, just 1.
I can't do 1.
He can't do 1.
.NET Connected Software helps you connect with partners. That's software for the agile business. From Microsoft.
Where'd you get that shirt? It's huge.
It was my old boyfriend's.
It must have been huge.
He was.
Why don't you change into one of mine?
Nah, yours are kind of small.
So?
Well, small ones are okay. Huge ones just feel better. You have the tiniest little hands.
Game series is equal to 1 apiece after the Blue Jays back in the top
Whatever your groove, we'll be there.
You know, we're never in the same place at the same time. No, not really. So we need a plan that allows us to talk, you know, as much as we want, all the time, whenever we want. And then no extra charge.
With Singular's Family Talk plan, call each other for free with unlimited mobile-to-mobile calling. Get 5,000 night and weekend minutes to share, up to 3 additional lines, and up to 4 free phones.
We call it the Conley Brothers. What's up? What's up? What's up plan?
Come in and find out how Singular fits you best.
Taco Bell Steak Quesadilla. Marinated carne asada steak and 3 rich melted cheeses make this one high-class quesadilla. Upgrade to steak. Think outside the bun.
He dribbles down the court. He shoots. Oh, he's fouled! This week, Dave's all new with Adam Sandler, Lisa Marie Presley, and the latest Survivor castaway.
Early edge to the Orange. You look at these 2 coaches, the winningest active coaches in Division I, and they are the 2 winningest coaches in tournament history who have not won a national championship. One coach will drop off that list here tonight. Pass. Langford thought he denied it, but Anthony comes up short with the jumper.
I think it's a good idea for Langford to crowd Anthony, make him put the ball on the floor. He can't back off and give up that easy jump shot.
Collison stutter step and drive. Soft touch.
Forth, not a great shot blocker. Collison took advantage of it. Forth likes to stand in there and just occupy space.
Warren sees an open lane, and a block foul called against Kansas.
That was a mistake on Collison to hedge out there on Duane because it gave up an opportunity for Warwick inside. Here's that Collison drive, and see Forth not going for any shot blocking, stand still. Collison with his experience just slid around the side. Excellent move by Collison, the first-team All-American.
And the whistle on the other end on Graves. 2 for Warwick.
And say Collison should have stayed at home on that play. He cannot afford to give up. Heinrich can catch up on Dewaney, and Collison stays solid on Warwick. Warwick's too good a player to let alone.
They bring in more size. Some reinforcement with Jeremy McNeil for Syracuse. Hakeem Warwick, 18 against Texas.
Really, that's the minutes that get played out of that center position between McNeil and Forth. It's almost one player, Jimmy. They don't really count on a lot of production from them offensively. They just try to use up the 10 fouls.
Collison, quick jumper baseline. Had the good look. McNeil right into the game with a rebound.
McNeil a much better shot blocker, however, than his Forth.
Had 8 in the Big East tournament game against Connecticut. 8 blocks. Anthony again wanting to challenge Langford.
Langford getting right in his chest now. I think that's a very good defensive maneuver by Langford. Edelin, a good inside player, a lot of strength.
Edelin too strong. McNeil to save, and Heinrich. They say the ball touched the line first before Heinrich got a hand on it, so it's Kansas ball.
Good smart play by a lot of players on that play. Heinrich tried to make that last smart play by keeping that ball alive. He'd had a layup. And right now, we're looking at the perimeter game of Kansas has not come through yet. And in Langford and in Miles, they have 2 players this year that are averaging 27% between them from three-point. A hold-off by Collison.
Collison with the strong hands. 2 players draped on him. Gets it to go. He has 8.
And showed Anthony what some senior strength looks like on that play.
Edelin in the game. Another strong freshman here at Syracuse.
And there's the ballet dancer, Warwick. Boy, he has some moves. His feet are so quick.
You know Roy Williams would like to see Heinrich get started, and that's another Kansas turnover. They look a little tight to me early.
Well, Jim, you've got to get some outside shooting against this zone to keep them honest. Otherwise, they're going to pack in so tight. Even with a great move by Collison, one hand to keep Carmelo Anthony away, catching it one-handed with the other. We have seen, whether it be right or left hand, Collison really has the soft hands in the crowd.
4 turnovers for the Jayhawks here in the early going. McNamara, 3 again.
And there's Anthony. He throws Lee on the play. Lee tried to go ahead and help out. Too late.
That matches the largest deficit of the entire tournament for Kansas. 8. Langford, though, slices it to 6 with that move.
No one, and I mean no one in this tournament has sliced through the 2-3 zone. Langford's done it twice. I didn't think he could pull it off. And that's against a zone that's letting him take the outside shot.
Look at this shot. Oh, my goodness.
He has unbelievable range and unbelievable confidence for a freshman.
He has hit 3 of them now, 9 points to put the Orangemen up 9.
Kansas still going. The high-low, they have not shown they can hit an outside shot. They're still there.
Up high, Langford. Well, they're going to count the basket. It surprised you how far out he was with this one?
No, Jim, because I've seen him do this throughout the course of the year. As a matter of fact, in this tournament as well, Oklahoma State, he made some threes. It almost seemed like he was closer to the half-court line than he was the three-point line. Unbelievable range.
Knocked out by Collison.
I really think that Syracuse should try to get Anthony the ball some inside, put some more pressure on Langford.
Jim Boeheim was saying yesterday, I think somewhat whimsical, my offensive philosophy, give the ball to Anthony and get everybody else to get out of the way.
Nice help that time by Collison. Anthony had beaten Langford. Langford seems like he's a little tired right now. He's grasping. Early in this ball game, he's breathing very heavily.
Michael Lee is in the Kansas lineup now. What a boost he has been all tournament long. Number 25 for the Jayhawks. Had a career-high 13 in a win against Marquette and hit 3 out of 3 from outside.
Exactly. He is the #1 percentage shooter that they have on this team, even though Heinrich obviously has a lot more attempts and is a 43% career three-point shooter.
Yeah, Lee's over 50% on the season. Warwick in the paint. They're going to count the basket and send him to the line.
Carmelo Anthony showing that he can overpower Langford any time within 12 feet. And I really think early in this ball game, this is where he can be so effective.
And if you're a Kansas fan, Billy, the man you always hold your breath with as far as foul trouble, Graves, has picked up his second here, 7.5 minutes into the game.
Talked about him early and some of the keys to this basketball game. Roy Williams' bench is so short, and when Graves gets in foul trouble early, it really makes it even shorter. Then he can't start resting some people, so Collison could be looking at a 38-minute game.
So put Anthony on the board, and there is the block inside of Nash.
Warwick, beautiful block.
Anthony Heinrich on him. Finds the open man, Edelman.
Jim, this young man understands how to play the game.
Heinrich trying to get started.
Well, Kansas needs a timeout before the next possession.
Well, they're going to get it right back. Turnover on the outlet pass. But Kansas finds itself 12 down.
McNamara hurt his hand, Jim, on that play.
13-4 run for the Qs to lead by a dozen.
Stood there bold.
Okay, see how the shred side of the rails wore more than the other side?
Felt like a million. Felt like number one. Like a rock.
What are you handing down to your kids? Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
Somewhere a trucking company needs a driver. Somewhere a driver needs a job. That's where we come in. Blue collar, white collar, no collar. Now Monster works for everybody.
So, you want to open a checking account?
Yes, but I don't want to pay for it.
Right. And you want online banking?
Right, if it's free.
And unlimited online bill paying?
I don't want to have to pay for that either.
No. So you want total security protection on your check card, free?
Look, I just don't think I should have to pay for any of it.
Neither do we.
Free checking plus with direct deposit from Bank of America. Higher standards.
What's good?
Sam? Subway's new Italian urban cheese. The taste will bring you to your knees. Garlic, oregano, rosemary spice. Fresh baked with Monterey and cheddar cheeses. So nice. Great bread makes a sandwich a true taste delight. You'll see for yourself with just one bite. Step right up. No one makes them like Sam. Whether a BMT, meatball, or my favorite, ham.
I told you he was the one to ask.
Subway, eat fresh.
4 survivor women and 4 men remain.
It's the battle of the weaker versus the stronger.
But how far are they willing to go to win? All new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
Watch McNamara here, Billy. You said it looked like he may have gotten injured here.
Yeah, he came out of here holding his hand. Really went into that scorer's table. There you can see it.
Yep.
Roy Williams taking a look at him. Great sportsmanship on the part of Roy.
Jerry enjoys McNamara. They've been to all the games driving from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Watch their freshman star play. The freshman son almost comes up with the theft.
Only the strength of Lee kept that from a break for Syracuse.
Heinrich driving. In and out. It's been a real struggle for him.
Well, Heinrich has got to get himself an easy basket.
McNamara. Strong. McNeil on the follow, and Collison tugs it down.
Kansas trying to get the break, but look at who's waiting on him. Syracuse, and this is, man, I'll tell you, McNamara hurt that hand again, Jim. He is really grimacing over on the sideline.
Near the conclusion of every NCAA tournament game, we'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed more than $8 million to the general scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Nash at the line for 2.
I think we're going to see Gary having to go out of this ball game. He doesn't want to leave the game, but that's twice now. He unfortunately got his hand in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Josh Pace comes in and replaces McNamara, the sophomore from Griffin, Georgia. Pace has had strong showings in the tournament. 14 against Auburn, and Boeheim said he hit the big shot against Texas on Saturday.
Well, he did. He came in with that left hand and right off the bat scored without even getting loose.
Had one late in the game he thought was the key, the coach. It's Edelin. Beautiful work.
Very tough to match up. Edelin extremely strong. He's a lot like Lee. He's got that powerful body. He takes guards down inside.
Heinrich missed his first 5.
Tough to shoot over Warwick.
Collison between 2 defenders and off Syracuse.
You can see right now, Jim, that I think Kansas is reluctant to work on their outside game. It doesn't look like they have confidence in the outside shot at all. And as I said, 2 of their 3 perimeter shooters on the year, 46 for 171. That's Miles and Langford going out of there now. That will not get it done.
Anthony read the inbound. 3-on-1 and up the pace for the 2.
Roy Williams needs a timeout, and he is going to take it. His team is not showing confidence on the perimeter. Too much pressure on the inside.
Syracuse 15 in front.
AutoTrader.com lets you compare 2.1 million new, used, and certified pre-owned cars to find the one you want.
Oh, now we gotta sell our car.
I need a car. AutoTrader.com. Your car is waiting.
It's a feast at Applebee's. I'm me on my own. Add a little spice and it sure is nice. I love them combos. Cajun combos, can't say no to twice the meal. Well, I'm gonna get my fill with one great deal. Cajun combos make my mouth go ooh-wee. Slicing it up, can't get enough of Applebee's. Eating good in the neighborhood.
As bad as this crime scene looks,
109 bullets?
what really happened is worse.
What in the hell went on here?
All new CSI, CBS Thursday.
The Singular Wireless fan poll, which was the most memorable championship game in New Orleans. Singular Wireless users send vote to 171 or log on to cbssportsline.com/singular. Stay tuned. Results during Singular at the half. James Worthy, the MOP of that 82 championship team from North Carolina, and one of the 7 announced today in the 2003 class for the Naismith Memorial Hall of Fame.
Roy Williams, an assistant coach for that team. Right now you can see Kansas trying to go inside, showing nothing on the outside.
Collison gets it back, working hard, no call. It's going back to Kansas, though. Last touch by the Orange.
There, those long wingspan arms of Warwick getting a piece of Collison. Even on the jump, Warwick was basically flat-footed on the defense. Again, Kansas is going to have to show they can make a jump shot. Or that zone's going to keep packing in, and there'll be no spacing whatsoever for Kansas on the drive.
Out to Heinrich. Nothing there for him. And last touch by Kansas.
Collision. That time, Edelin got hit right in the head. Down on the floor, so Jim Boeheim can ill afford that. He already has one guard on the bench with some injury problems. Again, see Kansas, Jim, they're trying to go inside. They're trying to play inside 15 feet. You see the clash of the heads right here. Collison, the bigger of the two, didn't feel any ill effects.
Wasn't sure this was touch last. Well, no, Heinrich. I thought maybe Edelin got a hand in there. But the right call again. Langford back on the floor for Kansas. And a hold called on Langford right away.
And Carmelo Anthony smiles because he knows what Langford's trying to do. He's trying to go ahead and body him up and force him to put the ball on the floor. Anthony just so relaxed out there on the floor. Understands the game so well, taking advantage of that size.
What a nice steal by Miles.
But look at Syracuse again, back down the floor.
Heinrich at last.
Finally.
Big three for the senior from Sioux City, Iowa.
We're talking about the career three-point shooter, Kansas history. And he is going to have to come up huge if they're going to come back.
Will the first be the start of something? Anthony shut down this time, gets it right back.
See where he gets it back in a little closer, and that makes him have so much advantage over Langford. How smart.
So easy and smiling all the way.
And it's not smiling to make the opponent look bad. I think he's got a little Magic Johnson in him. You know, he just looks like he's having a lot of fun out there.
I talked to him yesterday. He smiled. I said, all this smiling, people are really attracted to it. He said, I smile even when I'm in a bad mood. Can't beat that. Collison almost had it stripped.
Didn't have it in his hands for the shot.
Graves is back on the floor for the Jayhawks with the 2 fouls.
Syracuse has had more situations where they have better numbers on the break than Kansas so far. Kansas doesn't have one fast break point.
Anthony short this time.
A little better job by Langford, making him put it on the floor.
McNamara's coming back in, Billy, and early he provided the firepower for the Orangemen.
Great range shooter, and you can see whenever you try to double on Anthony, McNamara knows how to go over and find an open spot. Again, trying to go inside out.
Heinrich, 2 straight perhaps?
Yes. Good looking follow through by Heinrich on the shot. Warwick couldn't get there in time. Good sign for Kansas.
Yes, Kansas feels complete when that's working. But very telling what you said. No fast break points after what we saw the running Jayhawks of Saturday.
Now, why Syracuse pulled this out? Kansas went to a 1-3-1 zone, something that Arizona did so effectively against them. Collison's running the baseline.
There again.
That eliminates the point zone a little bit.
Nothing wrong with those wrists. Miles quickly at the other. Graves waits. Gets it.
Now, why they're in a zone is because Graves had to come back out on the floor with this deficit, but he's got the 2 fouls on him, Jim. And what Roy Williams is trying to do right now is to protect him in this 1-3-1 zone, playing right in the middle. Graves is going to have to really move his hands and be thinking, as opposed to picking up another cheap foul. So Syracuse, the team that plays the zone, now has to play against the zone.
Anthony, wow, nifty move.
And look at Syracuse hustle back down the court. Once again, they're back faster than Kansas can beat them down. Great sign of coaching there by Syracuse.
Collison, 1 bounce and a reach in on McNeil.
Jim, so many times, one of the basic things you want to do against the zone defense is beat it down the floor. That's why I give Jim Boeheim so much credit to have a zone that can get back for defensive balance.
10 for Anthony. Also with 6 assists.
Dave Busnick.
We've got 30 days to get your anger under control.
Never had an anger problem.
I don't think you should be moving in with me.
But with Dr. Rydell's help,
It's pivotal for you to confront your childhood nemesis.
he will.
Guy's a monk. He's not even allowed to hurt a plant. Do you think that's funny? Don't shove me. Look what you made me do!
Anger management.
Wasn't expecting that from a Buddhist kid.
That was out of nowhere.
Rated PG-13. Opens Friday.
Morning.
Those are all good, but after cheating on me, he deserves something way more painful.
Tell it over a great-tasting, less filling Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
The Chevy Trailblazer worst-case scenario. What to do if tailgated by a giant ore hauler? Don't slow down or pull one of those I'm braking slightly to freak you out stunts. You won't like the results. Simply let that standard 275 horsepower Vortec engine send a clear message. Get off my rear, ore man. Here you have a best-case scenario. Chevy Trailblazer. Like a rock.
Introducing Intel Centrino mobile technology. The new wireless laptop technology designed to help you untangle, unburden, and unwire your life.
I'll get this. Getting a really low rate on this card.
Well, I hope it's a low fixed rate, like my Capital One no-hassle card.
Low and fixed? So what's going to happen to my rate?
Get the Capital One no-hassle card for the nation's lowest fixed rates and no balance transfer fees.
What's in your wallet?
Jim Nance, Billy Packer here in New Orleans, and you look at Syracuse from 3. It's hit its last 5 from behind the arc. How hard is it when you're this many down to come back against a zone team and a team that's playing as well as Syracuse right now?
Well, Jim, it is very difficult, obviously, because you're a team that wants to push it. But right now we've seen that Syracuse, with great defensive balance, has taken away what Kansas likes to do and where they score in bunches best, and that is in their fast break. Syracuse has given up 0 fast break points in this half, which is tremendous against a team like Kansas that breaks so well.
Heinrich rejected cleanly.
You're running right into a 7-footer as Heinrich, and again, I think that Kansas has got to go back and show Syracuse that they can make some outside shots to extend that defense. Out on the floor right now, Heinrich is the only pure shooter that Kansas has.
Good passing here, Graves. Collison on the follow.
Little two-man game inside. I think Kansas has the perfect answer for Syracuse zone with their inside game. They just have not been able to extend the floor with their perimeter game.
Yes, the inside games work well.
Absolutely.
McNamara. Off balance.
I guess that wrist is really hurting him. And Miles had good defense on that shot. He was right in his face. This Scranton freshman is a scrapper.
Put up high, tipped up by Graves.
Kansas attack. That's what Roy Williams wants. The problem is he hasn't been able to stop Syracuse no matter what the defense. He went to the 1-3-1. Now he's back to man-to-man.
Blaney step in too.
Everything coming up right for Syracuse. They are really looking good on both ends of the floor.
Boy, they are shooting lights out here. 7 out of 8 from 3.
Good job by Pace going out there and forcing Heinrich to put it up quickly. Langford doesn't want the shot.
Miles in the paint.
Surrounded by 7-footers.
Heinrich goes inside. Fourth collided with him. No call. Duaney with a 3. Nifty pass too from McNamara.
And Duaney feels like this game is over. He needs to get back in concentration, but what a night he's having.
He's got his 10, Billy. You talked about Duaney in double figures. 21-1. Get complete scoring, rebounding, and other stats updated live and available now in the Game Center at CBSSportsLine.com or on America Online. Enter the keyword CBS Sports Line.
Jim, one of the things that Jim Boeheim talked about was how incredible his defense played against Oklahoma. Then the other day against Texas, said my defense didn't play well, but my offense played well. Tonight, he's getting both ends of the floor executed as well as I've seen Syracuse do that in any game this year. Tremendous first half on their part.
One more for Langford, and with Anthony out of the lineup, just a brief break, the Orangemen increased their lead by 4. More on that about their offense. Boeheim was saying they did not have a single good offensive game the first 4 games of the tournament. If they didn't have one against Texas like the one they had, he was pleased with it. He said they would have lost by 15 to the Longhorns. And it is all go here tonight.
I think they have surprised Kansas on the offensive end. I think Kansas is prepared for what they're going to do on the defensive end.
McNamara, not this time.
Got fouled on the arm on that play, no call.
And it rolled right off the back of Heinrich, and Anthony knew it.
McNamara was right. He got fouled on that play, and he almost looks at the referee and say, hey, ref, let me explain something. When I shoot an air ball, somebody fouled me. Otherwise, it's going close.
Delaney. Under the rim, Collison.
See, trying to go for a break, but look what happens. The numbers are on Syracuse's side. Not good play at all by Kansas. They're trying to force it, but Syracuse doing a great job getting back on defense.
The largest deficit Kansas was able to overcome all season long. Now, this is a team that won 30, lost 7. They came back from 12 in that thrilling regular season game against Texas. Came back from 12 to win, but
we saw them come back against Oklahoma, but just ran out of gas at Oklahoma, where they did lose the ball game. Nice double team here.
Step in, give it up for it. Follow up, yes. Delaney, they're going to take the basket away.
And the reason for it is basket interference, offensive basket interference on the rim. Watch this. The ball will be on the rim. Watch them play with the rim first. And there it is. Hanging on and playing with the rim while the ball is in the cylinder. Good call.
Skip past Miles, 25% shooter from 3.
But you're skip passing over to a person that doesn't want to take the jump shot. That doesn't help. If you're going to skip pass, you got to skip past the Heinrich.
And doesn't have the average.
Right.
Queth Duaney followed up to get his night going. Then started working outside.
Well, the last real big game that Duaney had was against Georgetown in the Big East tournament. He had 16 in that ball game. Against Connecticut, he was just 2 for 10 when they lost in the Big East semifinals. If it hadn't been for Connecticut, Syracuse probably, Jim, would have been in the top 10 most of the year. But Connecticut had their number.
Huskies had him twice. That foul was on McNamara, his first. Langford front end, back end as well, the 1-1. Smile all the time, even in a bad mood. And the Big Easy loves everything mellow.
If you're heading out there